Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Talking Trophies. For this, I could only think of one person to bring in, and that is a person with more than 100 platinum trophies. What are you up to now? 109?
No, I think it's 8.
Oh, only 108. Did an excellent series called The Road to Platinum 100, and currently does a weekly live show called Locking It Down with Lucy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome LudiXP.
Hey, thanks for having me, Adam. I'm looking forward to talking trophies with you.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, we'll kick right into it. First of all, trophies. Why bother?
Well, I think originally for me it was, being kids, you didn't have any money, so you just had to wait till it was your birthday or Christmas. And my birthday is like literally 2 days before Christmas, so I only get like games once a year, basically. So when the trophies came out, I was like, oh, this is something to do to make the games last a bit longer. There's a nice little checklist and a goal to work towards. And then the great PSN outage happened as well. Do you remember those times?
The PS3 outage?
Where were you? Yeah, were you not there?
When the network went down for a day or two.
Yeah.
That was so
was
catastrophic for you. You still remember it?
No, it was when it went down for like 2 months.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Those were dark times, Adam. Okay. Oh, gosh. So I used to play like Uncharted 2 like every night with my friends. Like that was the game I'd always gone. And then the outage happened and no one knew when it was coming back. Reality had changed. Life as we knew it, gone. And I was like, what do I do now with all this time in the evenings? Because I think I was at university at the time, so endless time. So then that's when I also went back and was like, well, maybe I should go through these trophies and try and see which ones I can get, and I think I got Uncharted 2, Assassin's Creed 2 and Fallout 3 in the outage, and that's when things really started to kick off for me.
That's an impressive trio to start off your own little escapades into trophy hunting.
Yeah. I mean, what about you?
Oh, it was why bother? A good way to extend the lifespan of some of your favourite games is the one I always fall back on. Pick a game and you want to keep playing, but you can't. You're not going to do a new game plus again. But if you look at the trophies, it might say, hey, kill enemies a certain way, use a weapon, do a new challenge for a new game plus, or like the Dead Space ones that always I resort to as the example of play the game again with just the starter weapon, and I never even thought that was possible. So that's what kind of got me ramped into it. The way to extend the lifespan of some of your favourite games is what I like about trophies.
Yeah, definitely. I was never someone that liked to play games on the hardest difficulty just because I didn't see the point. But then when trophies were like, maybe you should give it a go, I was like, maybe I will. But if there's not a difficulty trophy, I'm not going to do it. I mean, why would I?
Really? You'd never play on the hardest difficulty if it wasn't for trophies?
Nope, because I don't see the point. Like, I guess it's kind of weird because I do, like, it's something about the trophy that makes me want to do it and push myself. But if it's not there, I don't feel like I need to prove a point to myself. I'll just be like, cool.
What harm? I would think back way in the day, God of War, I beat it on God mode on the PS2, no trophies. I beat Resident Evil 4 on professional mode, no trophies.
Wow.
And I remember boasting about it, because I was such a loser. I remember boasting about it to people in college.
Like,
Listen, this exam, and this is like maybe hard, but I beat God of War in God mode, so you'll be fine.
No, might as well throw that out there. But yeah, no, if it wasn't for trophies, I'd probably still be living the normal life.
I'd play probably most Uncharted games on easy or normal. I wouldn't even bother with crushing.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't have either. Like, now, hang on. When you play a game for the first time, I don't know, how do you feel about starting the game on, like, what difficulty would you go to before or even after looking at trophies? So, without trophies, what difficulty do you start on? With trophies, does that colour or change your opinion? If
it's a story-heavy game, and I'm more interested in the story, I'll do easy. With the God of War, I knew that you could just play through the main game on whatever difficulty you wanted. So, well, the new God of War 2018. So I played through on easy because I wanted to enjoy the story and the combat really wasn't doing it for me. But for most games, I do normal if I'm on board with the gameplay. What about you?
Yeah, I'm always a normaler because I just feel like it's called. So I've just branded myself a normaler. No, because I feel like that's what the game makers, they're like, this is the normal experience that they kind of think should be the way you should play it. Like, I get if you want to play it a bit harder, then yeah, but sometimes I just feel like, why would you like when people come to me and they're like, Lucy, I hate Uncharted Drake's Fortune. I played it on Crushing first. I was like, well, duh! Like, you played it on Crushing as your first experience. Of course you're going to hate it. No one enjoys that. So, yeah, for me, I just feel like normal, but then I do, if I'm not really feeling it, I'll drop it down to easy. But yeah. So if there's a difficulty, like trophy in it, will you jump to that one just so that you can smash that out, or will you still stick to...
Not the first time. However, going back through it again, yeah. Because also if you do it on the hardest difficulty, you've got to combine all the collectibles as well, which are normally such a pain to keep track of. I'd rather not have the horrible thing of worrying about a new game's difficulty as well as looking up guides for collectibles.
Yeah.
Then I did try, but it's nice when there's kind of a remaster of a game or a reboot, like the BioShock games. When it came to PS4, I started straight on the hardest difficulty, tried to collect everything in the one run. It kind of, that's an idea of, you know, extending the lifespan of one of your favourite games, going back to it and having a reason to go back to it.
And I think as well with the difficulty, when you play it a second time, you kind of know what's coming a little bit, so you can like prepare for it. Whereas if you go straight to the hardest difficulty, you have no idea what's going on. You're not going to enjoy yourself. And I feel like that gives me a reason to replay on a higher difficulty, just because there's the challenge, but you know how to prepare.
My entire computer just locked up. Alright, so whatever profound thing you said in the last 10 seconds, I can't remember. I don't know what it was.
I can't even remember either, to be quite frank.
Okay, never mind. We'll continue. Favourite... No, your proudest platinum.
Well, it's got to be Max Payne 3, because I don't think I can ever peak to those levels of
Not Red Dead 2?
That would be next, but Max Payne 3, like, Red Dead was just annoyingly difficult in terms of just a bit of a grind and just like blah. But Max Payne 3 was an actual task that, there was one trophy, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, where you've got to beat the game in New York hardcore mode or something. So it's basically you're on a time the whole time. So you start the game with 1 minute on the clock and you kill people and you get time through it and you've got to do it in one sitting and you can't die. And it was obviously the game's like, I don't know how long it is, about however long, but yeah, you've got to keep adding up the time. And I just generally thought I was never going to do it, but this was also the time when I was a bit crazed about trophies and I had no job, so I literally would just sit there for a whole week every day just practicing until I did it. And I was shaking at the end. I can't tell you, I got to that final bit and you can fail right at the very end because you've got to like shoot this like grenade to get the plane, and if you only have a finite amount of time because the plane will go. And I was like, oh my god, the adrenaline. I've never felt some. I was like, please let me get it, and I got it. I was like and I had to I just put the controller down. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I did it. Like, honestly, I've never felt anything like that, and I don't think I could ever achieve anything like that again. I can just die happy in the trophy world now.
That isn't insane. Well, that's like a 10 out of 10 difficulty Max Payne 3, isn't it?
It's pretty hard just because of the fact that you do need to just know the game inside out, and you just can't die, otherwise it will start the whole thing again, and you need to be relatively good, I suppose.
So how long would the playthrough be that has to be flawless?
It's hard to tell. I think I did it I didn't time myself or anything, but I think it took me about 4 or 5 hours. But your final time that you get is the time on the clock of how much time you accumulate or something, because that's the other thing. So at the beginning you ran through it really quickly because you know everyone, you know where everybody is, and you shoot them in the head to get 10 seconds, but by the end of the game you've maybe now allotted some good time, but now you're at the end of the game, so you're like, holy crap, I need to take my time because one mistake will send me all the way back. And I do remember there was a bit where you're on a train as well, and I could see my time was not good anymore, and I was like, okay, but I was like, don't rush it. Otherwise, it was the most craziest thing ever. So I think it was like 147 or something was the time that came up. I don't really understand what it means. What does it? I don't know, but it was intense.
Did it turn you off ever playing a Max Payne game again?
No, because I loved it. That was the other thing. I would never have done it if I hadn't had enjoyed the game. I know I'm a masochist. But I think that's why, if I hadn't liked the game, I would have never even looked at that trophy. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing it. But because I loved Max Payne as well. He was just really awesome. But I just really enjoyed playing it. I really enjoyed the thing. Do you know what the other thing that was really annoying about this game? You couldn't skip certain cutscenes, so you had to watch them. I knew some of them was like, oh yes, you're the button pusher. Yeah, you're so good at it. I was like, I know the lines. I had this ball thing where my friend bought it for me for Christmas. I would play the ball thing during the, I don't know how this, that's like basically there's like a little circle, or aka a ball, like a metal thing, and there was like a maze inside this big ball. So I would sit there in these long cutscenes and just go,
oh boy.
Oh, we're gonna play again now. Mad times. What's yours? Have you ever done something so mad?
No, actually I haven't. That sounds crazier than anything I've done. My maddest is probably... I used to say it was Dead Space 2, Modern Warfare Remastered, or Shovel Knight. But after doing Metal Gear Solid 2, like with Dead Space 2, it's like you said with kind of Max Payne, you go through the entire playthrough. Well, Dead Space is about like 3 or 4 hour sessions. You make a mistake, back you go. But it was doable. Modern Warfare, I thought I was too old for it because all these 13, 14-year-olds doing Mile High Club on Veteran, like it's easy. I can't do that. And then Shovel Knight was a 2D platformer, and you had to do the speed run, which meant you had to be flawless, and I didn't think that was possible. And then Metal Gear Solid 2's controls for the sniping sections are so backwards. I thought that was impossible. So those about 3, but I've never done a platinum more than 100 hours. I think my longest about 72. You did almost twice that.
For Red Dead Redemption, definitely. That was so weird. I mean, I'm really happy that that's the thing. I'll never do it for a game that I don't truly love. So I'm guessing with those games, like what made you want to go the extra mile for the 3 that you just called out?
Because I thought I'd make
Other than
a
the fact
video.
As I say the question, because you're making a video, yeah.
Yeah, I would have given up on Shovel Knight and Modern Warfare, and I would definitely give up Metal Gear Solid 2 a long time ago. No, the camera's rolling, and I can't make the video of, well, I didn't get it.
Do you think that'll ever happen?
I came close with those 3. Came real close. Just thinking, what am I doing? But then when I finish it, I'm able to kind of separate myself of Adam, the person who went through it, and Adam, the producer, who's like, oh, I got some great footage of some poor fucker miserable. So with this would make a good video.
But do you feel like proud of yourself for like doing it afterwards? Like even though like you went through it all, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. There's that moment of like, I actually did it, and now I never have to do it again. Like when you beat Max
that's the feeling.
That's the feeling.
That's the feeling that makes you come back to like, oh my god, I actually did it. And maybe that's where the addiction gets you.
We're screwed. Although I don't plan on doing any difficult game this year, nothing on that level. Like, do you say, okay, I'm in the mood for something really challenging, or is it always like, we'll see how it goes?
It's always I see how it goes, because I've never just picked something up for the sake of getting the platinum. I'll always first and foremost buy a game because I want to play it. So quite recently, like a trophy I've got my eye on is kind of like Sackboy, and I know that's got quite a hard final trophy, and I think that's again one that's hard but it's doable with practice. So I feel like that might be one that I'm going to try and aim to do, maybe if I enjoy the main bit of the game.
How's the PS5, by the way?
Oh, it is good. I love it. It's staring at me now. I call it Luther, my great protector.
Luther? Well, Idris Elba, is it?
No, it's the character from Detroit Become Human,
Oh.
because he would always protect Kara and the little one. So I always think of myself as the little one. I'm so dumb. Why have I've put a fictional personality onto my PS5?
Oh boy, because I haven't gotten a PS5, and I check every shop, they're not available. I was hoping to get one in April, but then I'm not even sure if that's going to be possible.
Oh wow.
Cheapest platinums or trophies you ever went for?
Okay, this is bad. Okay, so I was looking through, and have you ever, like, I literally bought the Fallout New Vegas DLC pack because it had easy trophies. I literally paid £1 something or other because the trophies were so easy to get. I can't remember what they are. They were just like some sort of weird, like, it's not even like the proper DLC where there was story. It was literally just cosmetic things or something, and just for buying them or spending so many bottle caps, you got it. So that was pretty a low time in my life, along with like Welcome Park and Paint Pack Pro Plus or whatever it was called. They were on the Vita, and I think at that time I was also really hell bent on getting to level 16 as soon as humanly possible. Why I have no idea. And
now you're on level 500 or something, so it didn't matter.
I know how times have changed. What are you?
Playing Madden 11. 2-player by myself to get trophies. That's a sad one.
Oh my god, I did that for Beyond Two Souls.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you've got to play the game with someone else. I literally just sat with two controllers.
Friends, you know what are those?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to run up the score line, so I just have one controller sitting there, and then being like, I'm midway through it, and I've picked my team as the best team, and my imaginary friend as the worst team, and I'm just like, this is a bit of a sad thing to do for a trophy.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but have you ever formed a rock band by yourself for a trophy? And do you know what you do? You get the guitar and you play the guitar, and then the lead singer is a fan. So you put the microphone to the fan, put the singer on easy, and the fan just does the work, and you do the thing, and then maybe now and again you just do the bass. But I didn't have the drums, so I could never actually complete the set. But
Okay, that's next level.
yeah, I had to make my own one-man band. I was literally Dick Van Dyke from Mary Poppins at the beginning.
Oh, I can't remember the beginning of it. I can't remember the beginning.
He just walks around doing a one-man band sort of shtick.
Oh, is that with the penguins?
Well, that happens a bit later on. They go to the penguins.
Favorite type of trophy?
Ooh. I think I like a challenge trophy, just because they're the ones that really get you to hone your craft and do something that, whether it's, just playing something over and over again to get better at it, or I think those are the ones that really push you. Out of all the other types, I can't, who likes multiplayer?
Yeah, I think I'd say we're both in agreement that multiplayer trophies need to go.
Yes.
Because one, they're either a terrible grind, and then they also have to be competitive with other people. I'm not good enough for that. Yeah. And then the horrible thing is that if the servers ever go off,
it's over.
Although I think, was it Shadow of War that recently put a patch in that you can still get the trophies now without online play?
Oh, that's really cool. I'm glad they thought of that.
Well, Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, one of those two. Then
I
was thinking,
Shadow of War is the next one, yeah.
Which one has online?
That's Shadow of War, I think. Shadow of Mordor. I don't know, because I've never watched Lord of the Rings. It's all just gobbledygook to me.
Goblins and fairies,
sure
who
War is
cares?
the second one.
Yeah. Definitely, all those Resistance games that have multiplayer trophies, can't do that. The original Last of Us on PS3 can't get the platinum.
Oh, yeah.
Some of my favourites, I know you probably hate these, I like the speedrun trophies.
Do you?
Yeah. I like the idea of, if the speedrun allows you to do it on any difficulty, you then become, you learn how to exploit the game, and you feel like you're almost cheating through the game, but in a kind of a devilish way that maybe the game didn't intend. And then if it asks you to speedrun it on a higher difficulty, you master the game to its highest degree. So I like those two, either ors. You hate them because you think that's not the right way to play the game.
Yeah, because I feel like you're not really experienced. I guess it depends on the game. If it's a game that isn't heavy on story, then I'm like, okay, cool. But sometimes I think my main gripe is with the Uncharted games, because you're just asking the player to run through the game and not really play it properly. You're missing all the best bits.
Now, unless you bump it down to the easiest difficulty, you turn on one-shot kills and infinite ammo, and then you run through blasting enemies every step of the way. Is that not a little bit fun?
I mean, it is, but I still like to spend time to talk to my faves and be like, hey, Elena, what's up? Press a little bit of triangle on you, see how it's going, but you can't. There's no time for talk. You have to go, I can't hear Chloe quip.
Because you have to skip the couch scene with Drake and Elena for the speedrun, and then there's no point even playing the game without that.
Exactly, yeah, because I think, on that game, especially number 4, the cutscenes count towards the time. I'm not sure about the other ones, but yeah, that's always my favourite bits of the Uncharted games, is the characters, and I feel like sometimes I do the speedrun, I'm like, did I even play Uncharted? I don't know. Didn't feel like it.
Alright, closing out. Future platinums on the horizon. Besides Sackboy, what are you interested in?
Okay, I'm thinking I definitely want to get Cuphead.
Oh, you're crazy.
No, I do. I want it so bad. Mainly because it's like my type of game in terms of a old schooly kind of platformy game that I used to play. And again, it's the challenge. It's the type of game where I have to hone my craft and really get good and practice and try. And I just really enjoyed when I played the first time. I just got to do my expert playthrough and a couple of miscellaneous ones. Trouble is, I haven't played it in some time, so I'm a bit like, I have to get back into the skills. But you do have to sort of be in the zone to do that one. So that's definitely want to do it.
Do you think that the art style is so endearing that you don't feel like it's so crushingly difficult?
No, it's still crushingly difficult. But I feel like it's a game that is difficult. But do you know what I like? This is my favourite thing about any kind of boss fight or any kind of platformy whatever. You show up to the boss fight and they just wreck you, and you're like, oh my god, I'm never going to be able to do this. It's just impossible. How am I supposed to? And then an hour later, if it takes you that long, sometimes it can, you're like dodging left, you're dodging right, and you're telegraphing, and then afterwards you're like, it's like how you're saying about playing it at the biggest difficulty or whatever. That's when you're like, an hour ago, I didn't think I could do this, but now I've learned the thing. It's the learning process, the patterns. That's what I really like.
That's pretty cool. All right, I'm not going to say what I'm doing future-wise because spoilers. Anything I get a platinum in this year will probably end up as an episode, so I won't say too much. But after Ghost of Tsushima will be God of War 2. I can't say that.
Oh, so that's... How are you playing that?
PS3.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, I'm about a couple hours in, and already I much more prefer the gameplay of the old God of Wars than the new God of War. It's more kinetic,
Really?
it's more fun, but obviously the story in the new God of War is infinitely better. And the character of Kratos is better. Before we say goodbye, I want to ask you about Ghost of Tsushima.
We didn't talk about this.
Yeah, I have a difficulty pronouncing it. How far into it are you, so I know not to...
I just got to Act 3.
Okay. For the folks who are watching, we won't do any spoilers, we're just talking general terms. Okay, overall, what do you think?
I feel really bad for sleeping on this game last year. Like, I remember when we did that other podcast and everyone was like, how have none of these people played it? But I feel like it came to me at the time I needed it. And do you know what? I'm not going to lie. When I first started playing it, I'd played 2 hours of it last year, came back this year, literally just did a bit of like roaming around some question marks while I was on a voice chat to a friend because I just wanted something like lax to play whilst chatting. And then the next day I was like, you know what, I might just do a few missions. So I did a few missions, half listening, half looking at my phone and stuff. So I was like, oh, it's fine, you know, it's light open world rubbishiness. But then actually I started like to put down my phone when some of the things were happening and I was like, oh my god, this is actually like, and I started to get really interested in certain people's story missions and the characters, and now I'm like invested. Like there is stuff going down that I'm like, no, I need to know what this character's up to. Like, you know when it says optional time, so like you're going to prepare for something, it's like optional, speak to some of the people that you know, and I'm like, no, that's not optional. I need to find out what Lady Masco is up to. I need to find out how Kenji is because he's a little sly one. So I'm really enjoying it. Is to cut it short. How about you?
No, I felt the same way about the side characters and some of the sides. Like the like Lady Masako, I thought her story was actually as good as the main story, and I won't get into details. But yeah, I just thought I was on board with her from the get go. I was like, whatever you want to do, I'm up for it. Bloody revenge, I'm up for it. A-okay. Break my code of honor, I'm up for it. Whatever you want. Oh yeah, that code of honor out the window. The questioning of Jin, you know, the code of honor of a samurai, you attack from the front, you challenge your opponent, you have honor, you have order, and that's what brought peace to the island of Tsushima. But I was thinking, well, the Mongols came to your home and then told y'all, feck off, and we're going to kill you. Yeah. So I'm like, you can do whatever the hell you want with them. You can backstab them, slit their throats at night. I'm on board.
Oh, interesting. I was always for honour because I was like, you know, my uncle, he taught me when I was a little kid, you know, and so I was very much like, come fight me. I'm like the most antagonistic person on the planet in this game because literally I'll be like riding around and then I'll just see some people like, who wants to fight me? And they're like, dude, I'm just like over here just like tying up this peasant. I'm like, come fight me. And so I'm just like everywhere just getting everyone. But now I am starting to turn towards the side of the shadows. My main thing, the reason I actually did do the standoff, not just for story reason, but it's because I found the actual sword combat really interesting, and I feel that stealth gameplay is much for much in most games. Like it's always, you know, crouch.
Yeah, it is kind of so-so.
Yeah, whereas this felt like the actual sword combat felt like something different that I hadn't played before. So I was very much up for doing that and trying to hone that and get better at it.
Yeah,
but
the changing of stances is cool. I would recommend bumping up the difficulty.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and do you know the way some of the combos, you're meant to, one of the combos you hold down triangle and then you kind of, and then he continues with the difference. I didn't use any of that until way, like, post-game, really. But then when I was clearing out the last... I
discovered it myself.
Did you what?
I think I've only just discovered it myself, you know, as well. Like, I know what you're talking about, but I was kind of like, how do I do it? You know,
yeah, you kind of, you hold down triangle instead of just pushing triangle, and he does a kind of a little for a half second, then he does a different style of combo. But then when they're so cool. Like, and each stance has its own version of this, and it was only in the post-game when I was just fooling around, I went, I should have been using this 10, 20 hours ago because I feel like Jin has gotten to a next level of his mastery of weapons and stances. So I'd encourage trying that out. Favorite ghost weapon?
Ghost weapon? Is this, which ones count as the ghost weapons?
Anything that isn't a sword or a bow.
I guess the kunai?
Yeah.
Does that count? I do like a bit of that. You just throw it out. I also like how you see people as the game goes on, just gradually fearing you more and more. Like at the beginning, no one like cares, and then after a while, it's like, oh my god, these people are starting to run away. I was like, this is cool.
That moment of when you do kind of the standoff, and then there's like one soldier left, and he's on his arse, and he's scurrying backwards and going, no, and you just see him run, and you think, yeah, you better fucking run.
I'm like, no, not today. I just get him with a bow.
I once, I had a guy run away from me, and I tried to follow him as much as possible, and I even got it back on horseback and continued following him. They run full speed forever.
Wow.
And then I think it's once they get past a certain point, they'll disappear and kind of the game will. Yeah. But once you were looking right at him, I went very far, and then I kind of turned the camera, and then I turned it back, and he was gone. But I find it so hilarious if you do it in a big open field, and then you see this guy kind of cartoon like just scurrying across all the way. That was good.
Oh yeah, no, I'm going to try and get the platinum for it as well, because I think it's pretty doable. I don't know, you've done it, I assume.
Yeah, it's handy enough. And even you don't have to get all the collectibles.
Oh, that's good.
Which, I'm so over collectible trophies.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah, as in, listen, if you're going to make, don't, like Uncharted are the worst for it. 100 and whatever treasures. But you pick it up, you look at it for half a second, and you put it away again. What if instead there were 10 treasures, and those, I think Tomb Raider does this. Does it? They're like, you can go and discover them and have like a little Indiana Jones adventure, but it's optional. And at the end there's a treasure. So there's gameplay involved in it. As opposed to just press
How do you feel about the ones that you pick up, right? So you pick it up, and then you've got to inspect it to see something more. So it's like, look, a Google Pixel phone. Are the phones available? I wonder what it looks like. Oh, seems it was used by a careless owner. Like, I'm just like, oh. I'm just like, what? I'm like, I don't care.
Alright, on that, we will end. I don't want to keep it too long. We've already went longer than we thought we would.
Sorry, that's probably me just yakking away.
No, it was good fun. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, check out Lucy's channel, LudiXP. Weekly live show, Locking Down with Lucy. I still don't understand how you talk for an hour live with no assistance and it works.
I don't know either, to be honest.
I'd run out of stuff to say inside 10 minutes. It would just be, well, I'm going to tell you about my day where I did very little interesting. But yeah, LudiXP, link in the description. Thank you for joining me, Lucy. And
thank you for having me. It's been fun chatting.
Yeah.
Oh, you too. Happy hunting.
Happy hunting. There we go. All right. Bye, folks.
Bye.